but that consistency and persistency are literally the key to achieving anything in life, and one of those things is running. Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. If you're new here, my name's Emma. I make health and lifestyle videos to help you guys be the best version of yourselves and live a life that you love. If you are new, I upload every Monday and Wednesday, and don't forget to click the subscribe button down below so that you never miss a video. So for today's video, I wanted to talk all about running. Obviously at the moment a lot of us are in isolation. In the UK currently we are on lockdown, all of the gyms are shut, and we are only allowed out of the house once a day for some kind of exercise like walking or running or cycling. So I have seen a lot more people out running recently, and it is an amazing way to get your exercise when you don't have access to a gym, or maybe you're really sick of home workouts. Running is an amazing way to get fit, get active, and it also requires very little. All you need is something to wear, some running shoes, and somewhere to run. It's not an expensive thing. You don't have to buy a gym membership or some kind of workout plan. You can just go out and run. That being said, running is also very, very daunting, and I can personally understand if that's something that you are going through. If you find running quite an intimidating or daunting thing, then I completely understand. So in this video I'm going to talk a little bit quickly about my own personal running story, and then I'm going to talk about how I went from not being able to run for literally a minute to being able to run a half marathon. So a little bit about me personally and my own running story. I've always said that I've never been a runner. I've always hated running. My boyfriend is actually a really good runner and loves running, and for a very long time he'd try and get me to go out running with him, and I would always refuse. I found it really difficult. I couldn't breathe properly when I was running. I couldn't run for longer than a minute. 3 minutes would be, I don't think I could do it. I would be really out of breath and embarrassed, and it's just something that I preferred not to do. Even when I got into fitness, if you've seen my other videos, you know that I got really into fitness, started weightlifting, doing HIIT workouts, going to different classes. I really like a massive mix of different workouts, but running was the one thing that really intimidated me and that I just put off and kind of said in my mind that I just wasn't any good at and I would never be any good at. I kind of had that negative self-talk when it came to running. So if you feel the same way as me, if you feel like you will never be a runner, or that you've always been intimidated by running, or that you just can't run, like you've tried so many times and you just can't run for longer than like 5 minutes, then I completely understand. But I'm here to tell you that it is also completely possible, because I went from not being able to run whatsoever to actually running a half marathon, which is crazy. I can't even believe I'm saying that. But seriously guys, if I can do it, anyone can do it. So what initially got me into running was the fact that I was really into fitness, and I felt fit in so many ways, but I couldn't run. And I just thought, oh, I'd really like to be a bit more well-rounded with my fitness, and I'd love to be able to just run for 5k, like go out on a park run if I wanted at the weekend and run for 5k, run with my boyfriend if I really wanted to. So I gave myself the challenge to run 5k, and shortly after that I decided to run a half marathon to raise money for the MND Association, because my mum was diagnosed with MND and sadly passed away at the end of last year. So I really wanted to raise awareness and money, so I decided to do something completely crazy and out of my comfort zone and sign up for a half marathon. I don't even know what came over me when I decided to do that, but you know, sometimes you just get that crazy rush of courage. That is what happened, and I decided to run a half marathon. So in this video I'm going to talk more specifically about how to go from a complete beginner to running 5k, because I think that that is actually the biggest jump. Because once I could run 5k, I found that the rate at which I improved increased dramatically. So I'm going to talk about how to go from a beginner to running 5k, and hopefully that will be really helpful for you guys. And then from there on in, you should have a better kind of understanding of how to run, and hopefully you'll be able to sort of increase your distance or time if you personally want to. To be honest, from now on, I will not be running half marathons. I will probably just be sticking to shorter runs, because that's what I enjoy. And that is an amazing thing to say, that I enjoy running, because let me tell you, that is something that I never thought I would say. So if you want to learn how to run your first 5k and to actually enjoy running, then keep watching. So my first tip is to download the Couch to 5k app. Now there are a couple of different ones. I will put in a little photo of the one that I personally used. I really love that one. I think it's actually made by the NHS or in partnership with the NHS, I might be wrong, and I'll also link it down below because I really loved that app. I thought it was so good. So that app is a 9-week program that's supposed to take you from not being able to run really whatsoever to being able to run 5k. And in the past, when I looked up running programs online, a lot of them were just way too difficult for me. They said they were beginner, but they weren't really quite as beginner as I was. Like, I was complete beginner when it came to running. But the Couch to 5k app does start you at complete beginner. So all throughout you are running in walking running intervals, if that makes sense. So the very first week you are walking for 90 seconds and running for 60 seconds. So you're only running for a minute. That is the longest that you're running in the first week. And slowly the time increases that you're running for until you are eventually able at the end of the 9 weeks to run the full 5k. And there's 3 runs a week, and it really just gradually builds you up. I found having a program to stick to so helpful because I think when you're starting as a runner, you just don't know how to pace yourself necessarily, or when to increase your time, or you maybe put a little bit too much pressure on yourself, which is what I think I did in the past, to run for a longer period of time when you're not necessarily ready for it yet. You jump in a little bit too deep too quickly, and then you kind of burn out and you think, I can't do this, it's too hard, and you give up. Whereas this is a much more gradual process and it really works. I know that a lot of people recommend the Couch to 5k app, and I do think that is because it works. I know a lot of people that have had success with it, including myself, so I would really recommend that app. Also, you can pick your trainer who will be speaking in your ears throughout, and they give you kind of little tips of how to run properly, breathe properly, and they just give you a bit of motivation, which is really nice. It also just gives you some clear structure, which I think is important when you're trying to build a habit as well. My second tip is kind of a boring one, but I'm gonna say it because it's important, and it's one that I ignored for a really long time, and I really wish I hadn't, and that is to stretch before and after your run. As I said, I ignored this for a really long time, much to my boyfriend's shock and disappointment. That is a quick fire way to get injured. So just making sure that you do some good stretches before and after your run really makes a big difference, like a really big difference, which I should have known. I should have known better, but I didn't. There were a few knee issues during my runs, which actually improved tremendously after I started implementing stretches. Also, you'll find that if you're stretching properly, you'll probably hurt a lot less like the next day and things like that, which of course is going to keep you more motivated to run again. If you're constantly in pain, you're not going to want to run. So definitely make sure to do some stretches. It takes so little time, but it makes so much difference, so I'd really recommend doing that. Number 3 is to feel proud of yourself for what you're doing and not to compare yourself to other people. So this is definitely something that I struggled with at the beginning. Like I said, my boyfriend is a really amazing runner. So I would be there running for 3 minutes or like 5 minutes, feeling really excited for myself, and he would have run like the London half marathon. But he was also actually really amazing at getting excited for me. He's a really supportive person. But try as hard as possible not to compare yourself to other people, because it doesn't matter how fast someone else is running, doesn't matter if someone else is lapping you. You are making progress on what you couldn't do before. So if you are running further or for longer than you were last week, that is a win. That is a massive win, and you should feel proud of yourself for that. Don't think, oh, I'm still not running as far as someone else, because guess what? You will never ever be the best runner in the world. I mean, probably. I could be wrong, one of you might be, but likelihood is you won't be the best runner in the world. You're not a professional athlete, you know, it's not your job. So if you focus on being the very best, you're always going to be disappointed, and you're never going to have a good relationship with running, because running is always going to make you feel less than. Whereas if you focus on how you've improved and feel proud of yourself for that improvement, and really just enjoy that, like feel really good about it, then running becomes something that really makes you feel good about yourself, which is so important. So feel proud of yourself and do not compare yourself. My 4th tip is to be aware of the fact that running is a mental game. I think in the past I'd always thought that I would struggle physically with running, which I did at the beginning, not gonna lie. But I learned as I went on that running is actually much more of a mental game than a physical one. So there were certain days when I'd go for a run and I would feel on top of the world. Like I'd run my 5k and feel like I could run another 5, and I'd feel just amazing. I'd feel so full of energy. And other days I'd go and my whole body would feel like lead. It was just such an effort to get myself around like the course. it felt impossible. And obviously nothing had really changed that much actually within myself and my ability during those few days. What had changed was just my mental space in that day. So just be aware of that. If you have an off day, it's okay. It doesn't matter. You'll come back in a couple of days time and you'll be feeling good and you'll have an amazing run. You don't need to hold yourself to the same standard for every single run, because it's just human nature that we have ups and downs, peaks and troughs, and sometimes we're feeling really good and motivated and we can just do it easy, and sometimes it's much more of a struggle, and just know that that's okay. Also know that on those days where you are feeling a bit down or grouchy, even though the run might not be your best run, the run will make you feel better. You know, like everyone talks about runner's high, and before I started running, I honestly thought runner's high was a myth. I thought it was a lie that people who are really fit and good at running told to make other people feel like they should run. Turns out runner's high is actually a real thing, and you feel absolutely on top of the world when you finish a run. So although you might find the run hard, if you're not in a great mental space that day, you will feel better for having done the run. My fifth tip is to schedule your runs. Obviously, if you're using the Catch 5K app, this kind of does it for you, but I would personally pick specific days that I want to run. So say if you're running 3 days a week, maybe you pick like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever works best for you, but pick your days, pick your times, and then write them down into your calendar, into your diary, into your phone, wherever it needs to be, and then stick to them. Whatever happens, you are going on a run that day. Try and think of it as an appointment or like a social event, something that you have to do. And once you schedule it in and it becomes habit, that's kind of when the magic happens. Number 6 is to invest in good running shoes. I actually put this off for a really long time because running shoes can be kind of expensive and I didn't know how well I was going to stick to running, but man oh man did buying new running shoes make a massive difference to my running. I was running in some kind of like old gym shoes, and literally the day that I changed to some different trainers, wow, like my knees and my ankles felt so much better. I felt lighter on my feet. I felt like a just springier, happier version of myself in my new shoes. So I'd really recommend getting shoes that are made and designed for running, because it will make your running experience so much easier and more enjoyable, because you're not going to be in pain. And my final 2 tips are just something to make your running a little bit more fun, because obviously running can feel kind of monotonous. So one of them is to change up your route. If you're running the same route all the time, you're probably going to get kind of bored of it. Whereas I found that if I changed things up, it kept me much more motivated. There were just different things to look at even. And I don't know, it kept me on my toes a little bit more. I felt a little bit less complacent when I mixed up my runs. And the second thing to do is to make a really good playlist. Again, this probably seems like an obvious one, but it makes the world of difference. When a really good song comes on, you can really tell the difference in my pace of running. Like, I run quicker, I feel so good, like I feel motivated, I don't feel in pain, like everything just feels amazing. And when a song comes on that I'm not so much into, like everything is just heavy and difficult and I just don't want to carry on. So before you even start running, make a playlist. I'd say about an hour to an hour and a half of songs, so you're not constantly listening to the same songs, because obviously you're not going to be running for that long for 5K. But having a longer playlist means that you won't be listening to the same songs all the time, and try and do that beforehand and really pick songs that make you feel pumped, make you feel happy to be alive, make you just feel really good and like you can accomplish anything. Those are the songs that you want to be on that playlist. And the final thing I wanted to say is just to have faith and believe in yourself, and trust the process, because as I said, I was never a runner, never any good at running, and if I can do it, so can you. I promise you it is possible for you, and just have some belief in yourself that it is possible and that you can do it, and that it might take time, but that consistency and persistency are literally the key to achieving anything in life, and one of those things is running. I'm using natural lighting today and I feel like the lighting has changed so much during this video, so I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry about that, but hey, it is what it is. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. I hope you all have an amazing week and I will see you all soon. Bye guys.
No worries, please get back early. Head out with champagne and dresses and let's get girly.